guys? I'm your humble host, Young Sika. Humble by the roll down the wrist, you dig? And today we have a very important guest in the house. Someone that's been making a lot of noise, messing with the right people and going to the right places. Please introduce yourself for the camera.
Hi, I'm Mandia.
And Mandia, please let us know what you have me sipping on this beautiful Friday night.
We're drinking Virginia Black.
Jesus.
Shout out Drake.
What's up? Shout out Drake.
Shout out Drake.
And please tell me, why did you pick this poison out of all of them? Why did that one, kind of resonated with you when we asked you what drink you wanted to have today?
I feel like it's super smooth. To be honest, I like it more than Henny. Some people are going to hate me.
More than Henny?
Some people might hate me for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I had a bad experience with Henny.
Oh, okay.
So
there you go. Getting to the root of
something else. So I just switched up on that real quick.
Fair enough. And before we get into this interview, I just kind of want to get a bit of who you are. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people have seen you on the gram, pop up in the popular ads. You know what I mean? But I feel like we want to put a personality behind that face, if you're okay with that. Yeah? Cool. Yeah. So let me know, where did you grow up in the city?
So Barhaven, actually.
Oh, you're a West Side shorty.
Barhaven.
Word. Okay. And
Barhaven, yeah.
How was it growing up over there?
I really liked it, to be honest.
Yeah?
I mean, it's a good community.
Mm-hmm.
People are dope over there. But I went to Canterbury High School. So
okay.
Kind of like a little bit like on the other end.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked Canterbury a lot. This music kids. I was in the vocal program there, so.
Yeah, no, and I feel like that's when everything kind of started for you, right?
Yeah, it was mid high school that everything kind of started for me. I had missed so much school because I was consistently it was like on tour. I think there was literally one time where I didn't show up for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And my teachers were like, "Where did you go?" I didn't even pre-warn anybody to be like, "Yo, I'm leaving."
I'm a star. Just your own bag.
No, I just left and I just showed up back one day like, "What's up? I'm here." Y'all miss me?
Yeah.
Literally.
And I feel like, you know what I mean, being the person that you are. When did you start making music like that?
Well, I started singing when I was about 6 years old.
Yeah?
And then, sounds like so cliche, but yeah, I started when I was 6. And then I started taking it professionally when I was about 13 and 14 years old. Because back then, YouTube was the hub.
Right.
It was everybody was getting discovered off YouTube. And it's so funny how it worked out. So my parents, I was online one day and there was how there's random draws and whatever online where you can just enter to win.
Facts, yeah.
And I had entered this competition and it was to meet David Foster, who's a huge, you know who David Foster is? So yeah, he's a huge music producer. I entered and one day, I got the call saying, you won. And my parents were like, "No, it's a scam." Right away, right off the bat. And I'm like, "Nah, I actually entered this, right?" So
and I'm nice. What do you mean?
No, but it was just you put your name and your phone number and your email. It wasn't even anything. It was just a sweepstakes kind of thing.
Okay.
So we ended up winning, but I was too young at the time because it was at the Fontainebleau. So it was a whole club experience and everything.
Right.
So they were like, "She can't go." But my parents ended up going. We're in Miami, won the whole, literally, free flights, free everything. They went. Celine Dion was supposed
home.
to. Yeah, I'm the one who won it. What the? What? Literally. So I stayed home, but Celine Dion was supposed to be there that night. Everything. That same night, they ended up meeting this producer. His name is Larry. He's from Chicago, and he had a studio. And
shout out Larry.
Yeah, shout out Larry. Shout out Larry. Literally, Larry ended up hearing my stuff. My parents had showed him, and we ended up flying out to Chicago a month later, maybe. Started recording a whole bunch of YouTube videos.
When was that? Actually, around what year?
Oh, this is when I don't know the year, but this is when I was 13.
And how old are you right now?
Maybe even 11, actually. I think I was 11. I'm 22 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it's a while back.
Yeah.
Started doing that. Recorded, that was when I really started recording, my own songs and started making originals and whatnot. And ever since then, I've been doing it.
And kind of do tell about that. I just feel like I've been around artists a lot in the past year,
Yeah.
And you know, usually artists, especially people that are as talented as you know what I mean,
Thank you.
they've been, you know, it's all good. You know, artists have been kind of discovering their sound and, you know,
Yeah.
knowing how, getting to know how talented they are. It takes a lot of alone time, being alone in the studio and stuff like that. But you seem like a very bubbly personality and stuff like that. So, how did you come about getting to that point of confidence, especially in your artistry too?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I feel like I've just discovered that the past year. It's so crazy because I've been in so many different spots.
Right.
I've went through like different genres, so I did like pop for a little bit. And then I even like dabbled a little bit on my last EP. I had dabbled in urban a little bit more, but it wasn't fully to where I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
That's because I had like a whole bunch of writers I was working with, and I would always like, I was still trying to find myself even on my last EP. Like there's hints where you hear a little bit of pop, and then there's hints where you hear a little bit of urban.
Right.
Now I started writing all my own shit, to be honest, just because I feel
Oh,
like
really?
it's
So you
just
write everything?
just me.
That's
write
crazy.
everything.
I don't hear a lot of people that are part of your genre, you know, like R&B, pop, and stuff like that, that really write all of their shit.
Yeah, that's why I found it hard to find like a good group of people who understand my direction and sound. There's certain people who obviously can do it, but I feel like the sound that I'm creating is like true to me. So I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna, if I can't rely on other people is what I'm
Facts.
saying, is I feel like I did that for a really long time just because I've worked with like some of the best producers and some of the best writers. But even if you're in
Like
a room,
flex, like flex, like
yeah,
flex.
but no, but it's true. But honestly, like at the end
Right.
of the day, like it doesn't mean shit if it like if it's not you, right?
Yeah, that's
so that's why for me, I kind of just decided, you know what, like you can have like 8 people in a room, but at the end of the day, like there might be 2 people that clash and kind of don't get your sound, and that whole thing is just done for
Right.
you. So it's like it's finding the right group of people who understand the sound, and if they don't understand the sound, I'd rather just do it myself.
Yeah. And I feel like even, what was it? I feel like it was SZA talking about when she started writing for Beyonce and whatnot,
Yeah.
you know? She was talking about, listen, I wrote for Beyonce a bunch of tracks where I felt like I was so close to them personally, but she wanted nothing to do with them, you know what I mean? And the tracks that I thought that she wouldn't be drawn to,
She loves.
exactly. So it's really about, you know, when you're a writer, you're not writing for yourself.
No.
Exactly.
You're really not.
How was it to kind of get the right people around you?
Well, for those who don't know, I've worked with like James Fauntleroy, who's like one of the biggest songwriters in the world.
Shout out Jeans, shout out Jeans.
Yeah, literally. James Fauntleroy, 1500 or Nothing. Shout out to them as well.
Facts.
Like the biggest producers right now. They're
Mm-hmm.
killing the game. Like literally just won a Grammy with LMA Boot Up.
Right.
Crazy producers, crazy writer,
Mm-hmm.
and like these guys are so dope. And they worked on like my first project with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I love being able to talk about people like them because I learned so much from them. Like they were like my first writing experience. Like I really just got to sit there and watch them like write and do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think around that time I was 15 or 16 years old, and just being able to watch that, like, yo, you can go to school and like go to a music program or whatever that is, but like these are the people who are making the songs in the radio right now. So it's like you're watching these people, it's like these are the best teachers to be in right now in a room with.
Facts.
So being able to see that was like amazing. That was like a really good stepping stone for me, especially at a young age, because it sets the bar so high.
Of course, yeah.
And then later on, I started working with a whole bunch of producers in Toronto as well. Again, some of the best there, working behind Jazz Cartier, working behind Chris Brown.
Big year for jazz. Big year for jazz.
Nikhil as well. He's done like literally a lot of Chris Brown's album. And it's so funny because I found him through Instagram and I was like, I need to work with this guy. Like, oh, yo, I'm a scout when it comes to producers. I'm like, yo, who's that guy who produces? I want him.
And that's actually another big thing. You know, I feel like a lot of artists, especially when they get signed, it's a lot of I let my team kind of do the work for me. You know what I mean? And that kind of takes away 50% of the hustle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no,
But
yeah.
you've done a lot. Like you write for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you scout for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, how much of your own hustle do you kind of attribute to your success right now?
I don't want to throw anyone
No,
under the
flex.
bus.
What do you mean flex?
I feel like a lot, to be honest, just because I'm super involved with my project, especially the last little while. I've done a lot of things myself. I mean, I do really have a good team around me. I will say that. Like, there's a lot of, like, Katrina Lopez is my manager right now. She's super dope. She's helped with so many things.
Shout out Katrina.
Shout out Katrina. What's that? How you doing? How's the Toronto weather like? Literally. No, she's dope, but she has a lot of Toronto people under her belt, which is super dope. But for me, I definitely think that I work hard, and I have like a thing where like as soon as I see something, I'm like, yo, I need to work with this person. And I like won't stop until I get that person. So it's almost like it's a drive.
Yeah.
When you're so dedicated, it becomes a drive.
When you know what you want, that's how it should be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like nobody. If you don't do it yourself, who's gonna do it for yourself?
Well, that's exactly what my mentality is. It's you got to put it all in.
And let's get back on track, right? So. You started when you were almost 11, 12 and stuff like that, and you've been around some of the best in the industry.
Yeah.
When do you actually realize, you know what? Okay, I'm taking this music thing seriously. Because there's a lot of people that, they go for it and they think, well, I'm amazing, I can sing, I can do this, and then the drive goes down, the work ethic goes down, and all of it goes down, you know what I mean? But I've been kind of putting a lot of numbers on the scoreboard. So when did you realize, you know what? This is what I'm dedicating my life to right now.
Oh, I did that when I was 13.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
At 13 years old?
Yeah. It was only a couple of years after, like, Chicago that I decided, like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my life to this. And then also when I was in high school, I feel like that was, like, a big thing for me because at the time I was on Family Channel, I was consistently not in school. And I was just, like, going on tour, performing consistently in the studio. And that's when I realized, like, I mean, school isn't for some people. I completely believe in that. And I just feel like school isn't for me. Don't get me wrong. Education is key to me. Like, my brother's, like, becoming a doctor. He's studying to be a doctor.
Jeez.
Like, so, like, no, but, like, I completely believe in school. Education is, like, number one for a lot of people. But there's a lot of people who really just don't fuck with school and it's just not meant for them. And I feel like in the society that we're in nowadays, it's so different. It's like you can do this and this through internet, through social media, whatever it is, and you can still build a brand, you can still make money. Like, times have changed, so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I feel like no matter what it is, I've kind of always had like a business mind where it's like I can still find ways to make money or like have a side hustle without going to school.
No, I feel like you were definitely invested in that speech. If you don't mind me asking, what's your background?
I'm Greek.
Greek, eh? Yeah, okay. Because I'm from the Caribbeans, and I've had that kind of mentality for a very long time. Like, I went to school and everything like that, but kind of going through it, you're like, fuck, like, is this really what I want to do? And a lot of it, like, you're doing it for your parents.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I have so many, that's another thing. I have so many friends of mine who are like, I'm in school, but this isn't really even what I want to do. Or they, like, switch halfway and do, like, another program. 22.
Okay.
So that's why it's like, I hear so many of my friends who are in school and they drop out. They're like, I don't even like the program. I'm going to go somewhere else now. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So it's just kind of like, I'm glad I didn't go to school.
Right.
I mean, it's always going to be there if I want it. Like I said, I'm a big believer in education and whatnot, but that's about it.
Okay. We're just going to take a break, bro. All right, Mandia. Listen, talking about big numbers on the scoreboard, I was kind of creeping your gram on the lows, and
here we go.
DJ Khaled, we the best.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Right? Yeah. He shouted out my song. I have a song with Eric Bellinger. He shouted out my song.
Fire track, by the way.
Thank you.
Fire track.
Yeah, it was so crazy how it lined up because he shouted out the day that it came out. So it was just like perfect.
Right. Yeah. And I was listening to that song too. The mesh of both sounds were definitely like complemented each other very, very well. Who produced that track, by the way?
It was Solomon from Toronto and Luca. They're doing like, if you know Anders,
they're
doing all of Anders stuff. So they're really dope. Yeah.
No, and that's kind of a testament of how well you're going about things. You know what I mean? So I want to, shout you out on that.
You.
So, but enough of the past. You know what I mean? You've dropped a fire tape, acclaimed. A lot of people talked about it on the gram. I seen you. You hit 100,000 on the gram.
Yes.
So, what do you have planned for the future? You know what I mean? I feel like not a lot of videos have been released. You know, you've been way more consistent on the gram, but not a lot of videos have been kind of released. So, that kind of makes me curious as to what you have to release in the future.
Well, for me, if I'm gonna do a video, I feel like I want to do it on like a super dope song, and I definitely want to be a part of the visual. So
Of course, yeah.
I would like to find a song that I'm like super excited to do a visual for. But yeah, no, just releasing consistent music is key right now. Being in the studio, whenever I find something that I really, really love, I like just drop it. So Do It For You was my last song that I just dropped. And that was like one of my favorite records. People seem to really fuck with it. So now I'm just kind of like in the studio working on another one. I record so much stuff and I write so much stuff, even more stuff, like 400 songs I have. Like, no, 400, yeah. Like, I'm on a wave where I'm like, write one song a day. So this way, like, I have like 365 songs in a year.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm really strict on it. But that's why I'm kind of just like, I need all the material I can get. Pick the best ones.
Because when the time comes around, and that's what I feel like a lot of artists don't know about that, you know? It's like you could have
you gotta be strict with it.
For sure. You can have like 2-3 songs that are amazing.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like if you're not gonna be able to, you know, to survive the test of time, then no matter how fire tracks are, you're gonna run out. You're gonna burn out, and
exactly.
Yeah. So
can't be a one-hit wonder out here. Exactly. It's not for me. It's not for me
though. And what are your inspirations? Because off your last EP, the Eric Bellinger song was definitely amazing, but I feel like the song where you kind of let us in and, you know, share a piece of your soul with us is on Retail Therapy.
Okay.
That song was definitely way
Out
more.
Of all songs, that's
what
you chose.
No, definitely. You know, I'm keeping my eyes on you.
That's really fucking funny.
That's the song where I feel like you were 100% honest with us and kind of being very vulnerable.
I recorded for that project,
and it's the last song on the project too.
Yeah. For me, I feel like. Okay, so I feel like Retail Therapy is a really dope track, but I definitely think.
Actually, before you answer that question, salute.
Oh God!
Now we'll have a shot because I want the real answer to that question.
Oh God!
There you go.
What's the question?
So Retail Therapy, right?
Yeah.
This is a song where I feel like you've been the most
like
honest and open and vulnerable, and I kind of want to know what are your inspiration when you go in the studio and you're ready to write a song and record it.
Most of the time I always write my songs ahead of time, just because I like to work just by myself. If I like have to work with other people or whatever it is, I will do it. Honestly, like, it's funny you would say Retail Therapy because it was the last song that I recorded on the project. But for me, Do It For You is, like, one of the most open and honest ones that I've done. Just because it was all me and it's, like, a ballad. It's just, like, I feel like so many females can relate to that song. But inspiration-wise, honestly, I'm super, super gifted as where I can put my head in, like, other people's shoes.
So you don't really draw from your own experiences? Or
not
do you?
All the time.
Oh, really?
Not all the time.
Okay.
It depends. I'm super weird with it. I have writing blocks all the time, but I'm super good where I can like think I'm in someone else's shoes and write about it. So I've always been really good with that, and I feel like that's what like makes me a good writer.
Right.
And like it's definitely an advantage where it's like you can connect with people easily.
No, for sure. And you know, you've been, you know, in Toronto and California, but lately, you know, I've seen you a lot in Ottawa. People a lot on your gram.
My hometown.
Pay attention, you know, in the eyes of the city. So what you know, what kind of brought you back to the city? What kind of like, you know, attracted you back to your roots?
Well, my family is here, but I feel like we have such an open market in Ottawa that hasn't really been taken yet. Like, there's so much talent in Ottawa, and I just wish people would see that. And maybe it's because we're so, like, governmental and there's just not a lot going on. But so much talent is coming out of Ottawa, and I feel like a lot of people also aren't claiming Ottawa. But there's so many people who like there's so many people who want to be a part of something. It's like Toronto, it's like you go there and everyone's like supporting the music industry and whatnot, and here it's like they're almost looking for something to grab onto. So that's why I'm just consistently dropping shit, and I'm letting people I'm cool that I'm from Ottawa. There's some people who don't even mention Ottawa and they're from Ottawa. You would never know.
Facts. And you know, the fact that you're so proud of it, and you kind of shout it out in interviews and stuff, you know. So, who are some of the people that you feel are kind of doing their thing, and you know, maybe I don't know if you could see yourself working with them, but you could definitely see themselves going further and going to the distance?
Yeah, there's a couple of people I want to mention. So there's Maurice Moore.
Talented guy.
So talented. And I just want to say, like, there's a lot, like, I feel like he's not even being recognized for what he's doing.
Not in the city. I feel like not as much in the city as he should be.
Like, he's so talented. That guy can create so much good material. And, I mean, I don't want to be rude or disrespectful to anybody, but I feel like there's, like, things like Faces Magazine or a lot of places where, like, they're just not recognizing him. And he's so talented with his music. He's so dope.
At least we had him on the podcast. At least.
Yeah, no, but that guy is so dope. And it's like, to be honest, that guy's putting it on for the city.
A lot.
And he hasn't been recognized. I fuck with him so much. He's so dope. Jeff Sandin as well.
Jeff Sandin, yeah.
Love him.
Amazing artist.
So underrated. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I just, like, there's a lot of people that I fuck with in Ottawa. Those are, like, I feel like the two main guys who I really fuck with in Ottawa right now. Yeah. That's who I would say as far as Ottawa. And,
like you said, you know, a lot of people from the city don't really...
Oh, I want to say Jordan McIntosh as well and Cara Isabella as well.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
but they're like in a completely different lane. They're like country, so it's different.
No, I fuck with country. Darius Rucker is my favorite country artist.
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks.
No, there's a lot of people in Ottawa that are killing it.
And a lot of people are going to have to realize it very soon. I just feel like people like you, people like Maurice Moore, people like Knight Lavelle, even if it's not in the same lane, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they're like,
so dope.
People are coming out and claiming the city and being proud of being from the city. It's like, with consistency, there's nothing that could really stop people with that much talent, you know?
Absolutely.
So, no, definitely. And, you know, just, you know, before ending this interview, I just kind of want to know, what are your future plans? Where are you trying to bring this thing? You know what I mean? Because you're one of the most talented and one of the most given attention in the city.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So,
for me, definitely bringing it all the way to the top. That's the only way that I see myself, to be honest. I've been doing this for so long. It's funny because, like, a lot of people I feel like are just hearing about me now with, like, the urban sound and whatnot, because I feel like I've transitioned so much. But I've been doing this for so long. And for me, it feels like the journey has been going on forever. But for a lot of people, this is the first time they're hearing me. And I'm cool with that because you got to put your time in, right? Nice. Like, it's not an overnight kind of thing. But for me, definitely the top. I would like to write for other people. I would like to make music, have all my songs on the radio, and be the biggest female artist coming out of Canada. That's what I would, that's like my goal, for sure.
She said it!
That's it.
She said it.
That's it. Straight up.
Mandia, thank you very much for coming for the interview.
I really appreciate it. I had so much fun.
I'm Young Sika. This is another interview, and peace out.